2 years ago, I entered my first robot combat event in Redmond, Washington. Holy crud, it's already been 2 years. Anyway, last month I was back for this year's Rumble in Redmond. I brought both my bots, and though they had just come off of wins in Idaho, I knew this event would have lots of heavy hitters. Jumbo and Plan B had each been repaired, but not upgraded, so I had modest expectations for their performance. Honestly, I was hoping for Jumbo to do well as long as I could keep it under control, but looking at the competition, I was prepared for Plan B to get completely destroyed. It was up first and would be going against Kasper, a Peterbar kit. Though my strategy was to try and get to its side, the main focus was to avoid the pit at all costs.
Motion. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was a very back and forth match, and I was lucky to come out with the win, especially getting that close to the pit. Plan B took some damage, but all the parts could still be used. Jumbo was next and would be going against Atlas, a beater bar spinner equipped with some special attachments.
Third is Jumbo.
Definitely a good match for me, but the weapon motor's intermittent problems meant I couldn't trust it to go into another fight. Thankfully I had 2 more, so I was ready for Jumbo's next match against Shuriken, an overhead saw bot.
Here's one, fight! Shuriken first out cross. Dancing with Jumbo. Oh, best days. Alright. Somebody got a piece of somebody there. Looks like Shuriken lost one. And lost his blade. Alright, so Shuriken's lightened up and is ready to fight now.
That's the only weapon he's give him the gums! Yes! Whoa! My leg
Alright, 2 minutes to go. Shuriken's lost his side, it looks like. Shuriken taps! Your winner is Jumbo. 1 minute.
Since Shuriken's weapon could reach Jumbo's frame, I prioritized disabling it, which went as well as I could have hoped. Back to plan B then, which would be facing Monster X, a very loud and very dangerous drum spinner.
Fight!
There's no telling which way this fight would have gone if not for the pitting. Another lucky win for Plan B, so it was back to Jumbo. It would be facing Hades, a mid-cutter. Since it was a horizontal, I swapped to the copy of Jumbo with the blue blade.
My weapon bill again. No. Now he knows the strategy.
There. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think the weapons system of Hades had been damaged in a previous fight, so the robot wasn't at 100%. Regardless, Jumbo advanced, but I had to turn my attention back to Plan B since it was fighting next. This would be against circular reasoning, an overhead horizontal, so I swapped to the black blade for this match. Well, something exposed wheels, I guess. There was quite a bit of damage beyond that though, so I swapped to my other copy of Plan B going forward. But before that, Jumbo was back up and would be facing Iron Wedge. These two faced off at last year's Rumble in Redmond, where Jumbo was promptly pitted. Would it fare any better this time? Though I did better than last time, the win deservedly went to Iron Wedge. Post-fight, I found the motor shaft had snapped, causing the weapon to fail. Luckily, I still had a motor available. That would need to wait though, as Plan B would be fighting Parhelion. Though an undercutter, this bot had a greater emphasis on control, so I went back to the orange blade. The one I had been using was pretty blunted though, and I knew a sharp blade was my best bet against TPU, so I swapped to another orange one which was yet to be used.
1, go.
This was such a close fight, and I was incredibly lucky to snag the judge's decision. Shout out to Parhelion's driver for a great match, and for gifting me the face of the robot. Switching to Jumbo, I would be against Pebble next. Since it was a pusher, I was less concerned about weapon reliability and more concerned with not getting pitted.
3, 2, 1, fight!
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The pit giveth and the pit taketh away. With this, Jumbo was out of the event, but still managed a respectable third place. Plan B was still in though, and would be fighting Brick, Pebble's big brother. After what had just happened, I wasn't exactly hopeful.
3, 2, 1, fight!
Are we counting that as actual movement? Okay. I don't think this is controllable movement.
Not particularly, but when you do it, so I can't tell if they can pull them away from it.
I'll just keep going then.
Alright, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's over. 136 seconds. You're going.
Something must have been wrong with the 3D prints on Brick. TPU isn't supposed to fall apart like that. It was to my advantage though, as Plan B continued on. The robot was undamaged, but the batteries needed to be charged, and we were deep enough into the event that everyone was waiting on me. To kill some time, Pebble's driver agreed to a grudge match.
Here we go, 3, 2, 1, fight.
You get an unstand. Open it up, put them back in.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Gotta be out of here.
2. And then a miracle occurred.
Divine intervention.
Guys, the robot? Whoa.
That's deep.
So
does that mean we're battling divinities?
That was an epic jump.
And then it began. 3, 2, 1.
We've been talking about the second coming for a long time now.
The only thing fractured was one combat robot. And it moved all of foot and a half. That's binary. Yep. No, that's binary for 3.
It gets all the runners and scientists and every time you go past the ditch, that's funny. First one to 3 or something.
Cool.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Yay.
Then a miracle occurred with 1 minute left. And the hand of God echoed.
I don't think he wants to.
Okay, aw.
Alright, call it a draw.
Props to the driver of Pebble for throwing their bot back in the arena. Once the batteries on Plan B were charged, it also went back in the arena, and would have a rematch with Circular Reasoning. Since the black blade didn't work very well, I stuck with the orange one and took a more defensive approach, as charging at Circular Reasoning just fed my bot up its wedge and into its weapon.
Fight!
I'm not sure if it's damage or luck that took out Circular Reasoning's weapon, but I did what I could to take advantage, and it was enough for the win. At this point, Plan B had made it to the finals, and it was placed against none other than last year's champion, Noob. Both robots were worn and tired by this point, so I knew full well that anything could happen.
One, fight! Minute 30 remaining. Seconds remaining. Five, four, three, 2, 1, match over. Let's go to the judges.
One of Noobtube's drive sides died pretty early into the match, but about halfway through, Plan B's weapon really started struggling. Once again, it was a close match in the hands of the judges.
There we go, a split decision here. But your winner is the blue square for Plan B.
Amazingly, Plan B had fought through the field to take first place in the tournament, which actually put me in a bit of a predicament. Like I mentioned earlier, I was expecting it to get demolished, and my plan was to salvage parts from it for a new robot, but apparently I have a pretty capable machine on my hands already. I'll repair it for future events and try to implement some durability upgrades for Jumbo's weapon motors. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.